Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Aries Only, where I channel messages for Aries only. Today we're doing a twin flame reading for you guys, but this one is going to be a little bit different than the way I usually do my twin flame reading, which is that I usually look at like what's going on with you, what's going on with them, you being like the feminine. That's just the way I do it. Even if you are the masculine, it's okay, just switch it. But instead of doing a reading like that, today I want to do a reading that looks at the twin flame journey overall, instead of what's going on like in real time. Basically focus on the macro, not the micro, because I feel like there is a lot of focus on the micro right now in the twin flame collective currently, and I think that spirit wants to remind us of that big picture, because we could be getting caught up in the details, the triggers, the knee-jerk reactions, not realizing that basically that it's all a part of the journey itself, if not like the whole point of like your soul's journey here on earth. Like, you know what I mean? Not even just even getting out of like just this twin flame journey like that we're talking about, like your actual soul journey. Like, I feel like the twin flame, if you are on that journey, you know, it's like major soul growth, and it's majorly like major lessons learned, and like really brutally sometimes. And it basically takes you to the edge of your emotional capacity. Like, you know, if you know, you know. And I think that spirit is wanting to bring this through because they want to remind you of that. They want to remind you to take these triggers or these faults or whatever as an invitation to like look a little bit deeper into this, and not use it as a reason to feel like a failure and to negate all the progress that you've made, or even to like revert back to your old story. You know, the big and the little picture are both important and necessary, and it's crucial to have both of those viewpoints in mind. Basically, like almost like the way your brain interprets things versus the way like your higher self would, if you can try to imagine that. So all right, I think that's all I want to say. I am going to provide timestamps here because I have a bunch of oracle cards I want to start with. I have this whole like thing planned out, so I want to really take my time, shuffle. So please, if you want to just either fast forward or skip to the timestamp ahead, I'll have it in the comments and in the description box. So all right, for the twin flame journey for Aries here, let's see what spirit wants to say is like basically the main lesson between the two of you, but I'm also going to get a side like for each of you as well. So what is the main energy here? What is the main lesson for these twin flames? The king. Okay. With the storm. What else? What is the lesson between Aries and their twin flame? That's 2. Okay. Speak truth with movement on the bottom. For the feminine, what's her main lesson? What is the feminine's main lesson in this connection? The moth. Okay. And what is the masculine's main lesson? What the raccoon. Okay. With the bear on the bottom of the deck. What is the feminine's main lesson here? Square. Okay. Masculine. What's the masculine's main lesson here? The North Node, destined to have? Yeah. Wow, okay. What is the feminine's main lesson here? This connection. Okay. And surrender, and the masculine. The masculine's main lesson in this connection. Empathy. Okay. With growth. Okay. Almost done, guys. Okay, so what is the feminine's main lesson in this connection? We have simple acts of kindness. And what is the masculine's main lesson in this connection? Ask for help. What do you really need? Be willing to accept support. All right. Okay, guys. Hello. Back to what you love. Okay. Hey, we're here. Here we are. Oh, I love this spread. It actually looks really cool. So what's going on here, guys? So again, I just want to remind you, this is the feminine side, this is the masculine side, or like the chaser slash like versus the runner. So what do we have here? I just want to talk quickly about the dynamic between the masculine and the feminine. What is the main lesson? I see that the feminine's coming through in this air energy, this moth energy. The masculine is coming through in an earth energy, the raccoon. The feminine is somebody that wants to expand their consciousness. They want to ascend. They want to grow. They want to seek the light. They don't want to stay in the dark. Like when they see that like there's more to life, they're like, oh my God, I have to like investigate this. They have a very curious mind here with the moth energy as well. They're very interested in looking beyond the everyday. They're eager to like spread their wings here, even like their body language, their mothy body language is like, you know, open up, elevating, they're flying, like seeking light. And something else about the moth is that they lead others to light. So this is an energy that wants also to like take other people with them. They want to like show other people the way. This could translate, you know, to trying to be in a career that helps people, a spiritual kind of career, you know, healing, something like that, where you want to like help people to like uncover this light as well, that you found, and show people the way, lead them to the light in a way, and whatever that means to you. And it's unfortunate because this masculine here is like cowering in the dark. This is an earth energy. This is an energy that isn't interested in expanding their consciousness and seeing what lies beyond like the realm of their comfort zone. They're comfortable in this dark hidey hole. If there's light coming in, they're trying to they're like, no, like they don't want the light to hit them. Like, you know, it's interesting. It's even here with this king energy between them. I feel like this is the dynamic that they're showing us, where like there's all this light flooding in, but this king energy is saying to stop. It's like making me think of like a king, like a masculine, like earth sort of an energy. And then this is a number 12, which reminds me of the hanged man, which is like a Piscean energy. I'm getting like almost like the Virgo Pisces axis, where like the masculine wants to be in this king energy, and wants to stick almost with the with more like earthly things. I feel like that's really something that the masculine is interested in. So the feminine, meanwhile, is the opposite. Like we already talked about this. She wants to like move mountains. She wants to like this a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. Well, we didn't get into that, but that just like popped out of my mouth. So clearly we're meant to move on to that. So, okay. So the square, a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. This is what the feminine's main lesson is. The feminine's main lesson is that like something about like about giving too much, because it's right over top this simple acts of kindness. Kindness energizes you and brings happiness to those around you. I feel like the feminine could be somebody that is like doing too much. The feminine is somebody that sees somebody that wants to stay cowered in the dark as like her personal mission, especially in this dynamic with her twin flame. The feminine is wanting to she's like challenge accepted. Does that make sense? Like she's like, I will love you until like you love yourself, basically. Something like that, where she thinks like she sees somebody cowering in the dark almost as somebody like it's like her mission to help. But the masculine's issue here is they're afraid to, again with this north node, they're afraid to expand, to move on to the next level, to like step out of their comfort zone. They see it as scary. Like they see it as like a dragon to slay. They are sort of content to stay where they are. Another thing the masculine needs to learn here with this empathy, I am open to seeing both sides of a situation. I'm getting that they're a little bit selfish, and with the king energy as well. We haven't really talked about the middle part yet, but we will. But the masculine's emotions, and specifically like being able to understand the emotions of others. This to me looks like a King of Cups figure here. So I feel like this is a big part of the masculine's mission. And I feel like something that has to happen here, a lot about first of all, the communication between the two of them is like a main lesson for both of them, about speaking truth, about when to speak it, when not to speak it, when to just sort of go within and process everything that's going on, like things like that, facilitate probably a lot of these lessons. Like whenever there's communication between you, for example, it's almost like there's these periods of separation, and then there's these periods of like maybe coming together, which is like very typical for the twin flame journey, and sort of like seeing where we're at, having new triggers and new interactions and new issues cropping up. Hooray. Sometimes, you know, things go really well, and it's in a way it's like the issue becomes like, oh, if we communicate so well and we're so real and open with each other in one moment, then why does it get cut off the next? I feel like the feminine could feel, this says, I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. I feel like the feminine could could somehow be like a slave to this connection in a way where she feels like trapped, or that it's like almost like a prison sentence, this journey, this twin flame journey, because she's like trapped, but it's like realizing almost that she is keeping herself trapped here by, instead of like really like going towards the light, it's like I see this feminine as like hovering, like waiting for this masculine to catch up. Like she's not really like going towards, I think there is something like trying to come in here, and this could speak of another relationship that maybe the feminine is like not open to, and it doesn't have to be an actual person, but it might be, where it's like somebody in her life that she's like almost waiting for her twin flame to come back. And you know how like a lot of times the twin flame is like your physical ideal. This could be a situation where like what is like a block in this connection, or what is like something that they're both learning, like lessons about status. I see that all these yellows, oranges, and reds, gradients of those colors, that's all the 3 like lower chakras. But again, I'm noticing the contrast that this is a number 12, which is the number of like the hanged man, or like a Piscean energy, and which is kind of like the opposite of that. It's like maybe the crown chakra, I would think, is representative of Pisces, or the heart maybe at the most, but I don't see green on here. And I'm also noticing that the feminine is like, maybe spent a lot of time working on her heart and solar plexus chakras with the green and the yellow here. That she's open and she's done a lot of healing in those areas. The masculine, it doesn't seem, has done much. Their gradients of black and white, I noticed that the head is white. It's almost like the masculine thinks like good about what they want to think good about, or something like that. It's like they see them something in a positive light, maybe themselves, if they have some sort of status or something like that. But in a way, the feminine, that's like her issue as well. It's like she could have childhood issues here, where like she had a difficult relationship with like a father, or like a male, like with the king, I'm thinking of like the patriarch of her family, that could have been absent, or they could have had a very challenging relationship where it was like she had to fight for attention or something like that, and she feels that's like a dynamic that feels like normal to her. So like with this masculine, again, it's like it could have a lot to do with an early like male figure in her life, or even like a first boyfriend or a first love or something like that. But where it's almost like the bigger the challenge, the bigger the reward. But anyway, now the feminine could be wanting to like win over, again, like she's waiting for this masculine. Maybe the potential for somebody is coming in, but they're not like this king like to her. And it could just be because it's like this person is like their physical ideal, or even that their physical attributes remind her of like this male figure in her life from her past, you know what I mean? So it's important to, if you're the feminine, to like realize like, are you closing the door? They're both closing the door. They're closing the door to something. That's what like the biggest issue is between the two of them. And I would say to this connection, in a way, but it's like with the king energy, it's like with the hand up, it's almost like a blocking. But I feel like it's maybe the masculine like blocking, putting like a block up for this feminine, and then the feminine almost like putting a block up for like her chance of happiness with somebody else, because it seems like she's trapped, but she's trapping herself but doesn't realize it. It's like the masculine has his hand up towards her, but is like free on this side, like almost like, and then like she has her own hand up, she's like blocking herself in from both sides. So she needs to maybe like unblock and like try to like fly towards the light, metaphorically speaking, and just basically like get to freedom here. I possess the power and the free will to create my own happiness. She needs to remember that. She needs to remember that like if she has this energy of wanting to be a kind person, and she has this want to like channel, I don't know why I just said channel, that's weird, but okay, maybe you're a channeler, but to lead others to the light, like there's ways to do that. Like she could channel that energy towards like even helping animals. I'm seeing a bunch of animals on this, innocent animals that like deserve our care, like, you know what I mean? It could be in a way where she leads others to the light, like we were originally talking about here, like channel that energy to get that sense of fulfillment. But it's almost like she thinks that she wants to like put it all towards her little raccoon over here, but this raccoon is not receptive to this energy. And I think most likely because there's a lot of darkness, a lot of things that are stuffed down, and males don't typically, I feel like maybe even like the feminine has had a very rough past, but the feminine, like I said, has done a lot of work. The masculine, I don't think has, but I'm almost getting a sense that the masculine could have had a more cushy kind of life as opposed to the feminine. Whereas like I feel like she had someone absent. I feel like the masculine almost, I feel like could be dependent on, I'm almost getting that the masculine could be dependent on like financially maybe, or emotionally, codependent on family, maybe a father. Again, I feel like the father is present here for both very important factors in each of their lives in two different ways. One could be like, again, like codependence, where like I said, the masculine is like codependent and the feminine is hyper independent, something like that. The masculine could almost have the energy of like a spoiled child, where they didn't learn empathy because they always maybe kind of got what they wanted, so their ability to seeing both sides of a situation is limited, because to them, I was getting a selfish kind of an energy, like a childish selfish energy, unfortunately, and an unwillingness to grow beyond. But I feel like when these two interact and come into interaction, these sides come out, where maybe like the feminine's knee-jerk reaction is to be needy and to act too fast and to show too much love and support, and to, she maybe thinks she's like too much empathy. Because even like though we're separating this, I feel like if we flipped it, it's a mirror image, it's a twin flame. So they can both be this way, like in other situations. Like these issues are, okay, how do I say this? Like there's issues of freedom and empathy in both of them. Now for the feminine, she maybe needs to take more freedom. For the masculine, maybe they're like overindulging in their freedom and just like, oh, I could do whatever I want. Same with empathy. Maybe the masculine is shut down to that. The feminine has way too much empathy. Like, you know what I mean? It's out of balance in both of them, but Spirit's choosing to talk about it this way. I think where like they both lack, like they're looking at where they're both lacking in these imbalances. But we can also say like they're both overindulging in the other. So I hope that makes sense and it wasn't too confusing. Same with this, ask for help, simple acts of kindness. It's like the same thing when you think about it. Like I'm gonna ask for help and someone's gonna like give me the help with the simple acts of kindness, with like little like acts of service or something like that. And same, like maybe this masculine is like almost like overindulging in helping other people, like, and maybe not this feminine, but like they're the ones like helping out in other areas, like they are overbalanced, like they're imbalanced in that area as well, just like the feminine too, is maybe like unwilling to ask for help again because she's like hyper independent. And it's just like the same thing, it's imbalance in both of them, it's out of balance in both of them. I feel like I just said that masculine thing weird. I feel like this masculine could have all his problems like almost like solved for him by like a parent or something. And I'm almost getting like the favorite child, like Ariel and King Triton, like is kind of what that reminds me of. So it could be like a dynamic like that. So, all right, guys, let's start looking into the tarot. Like we don't want this reading to go on forever, but also if this is going on too long, I am going to have timestamps, I think I said, for each section. So if I'm rambling on with this tarot and you're like, all right, we got it, you can go to the advice, because I'm going to get advice for you guys at the end. So we're going to ask basically how each lesson has like played out for you. Like, so for the feminine and for the masculine. So how, and then we'll get like one or two cards for here. How has these lessons played out for the feminine? Okay, this is first of all upside down, and it's obviously way too many cards. Oh no, it's not. Only a few of them. They're just like a lot of order. Oh, don't tell me that. I hate that. We'll see. Okay. How have these lessons? That was a terrible shuffle. Played out for the feminine of this twin flame Aries connection. How have these lessons played out? Okay. How have these lessons played out for the feminine? Oh. Okay. Page of Wands. The Hermit, yeah. Oh. Nine of Wands. The Nine of Swords. Maybe we'll just get 3. All right, we landed on the Moon. All right, so how is this played out? Again, we have issues of hyper independence here. Wait, should I get the masculine cards out or just talk about the feminine first? We'll just talk about the feminine first. We have issues of independence, Nine of Wands and Nine of Swords. This feminine is blocked off. There's walls up, like I was saying, for sure. She's in a very masculine energy. All masculine energy came out for her. Wands and Swords energy is masculine energy. She is in a hyper independent, hyper masculine energy. She's a doer. She's, like I said, I don't think there was a strong male role model. I think this feminine had to be independent from an early age. I feel like she almost has like a doom and gloom mentality about life a little bit. With the Nine of Swords, it's almost like she's modeling this stress. But the swords, like the pain is like behind her on display as well. Almost like, I feel like also like she could be very theatrical and dramatic is something that I'm getting. And also I feel like she views her pain as like she sees herself again expanding beyond her pain. And I think this is, well, this is the question that we asked was how has she learned her lessons, right? How have they played out? So I think as a result of everything that's gone on, like little by little, she's gotten rid of a lot of her pain. She's processed through a lot of it, but she still has it with her. But she's like fashioned it on to like be like an accessory on her dress, like as a part of her that she's like wanting to show off. Does that make sense? It's like on display is something that I'm noticing. She, again, even here, it's like how I was saying, like there's like a blockage like behind her that's almost like where the masculine is like blocking himself off from her, and she's almost like defending that and blocking herself off further. Like I feel like this has played out for her in like a misguided sense of loyalty, as feeling that her life will not begin until she is maybe like with this masculine energy. And that's like a hard lesson, like, and that's where this whole like freedom thing is like coming in, because I think that's something that Spirit is wanting to sort of, that's like her big, that's what she needs to do. She needs to learn how to set herself free. Trust Spirit. Surrender was on the bottom of the deck with this freedom energy. So she needs to like take back her power from this connection. With the Page of Wands here, the Page of Wands is all about excitement, like looking forward to the future, like, you know, being curious and inquisitive about life. Again, I mean, I'm saying that as I'm holding up this card because you can clearly see this is like a Page of Wands that looks like not really too pumped about the future. Like this is a Page of Wands that thinks almost like the excitement has been drained from life already, and that life is almost going to be boring and humdrum. I'm getting a sense like that. So again, it's like the feminine here needs to change their perspective on that like there might be like something like a little with the Page of Wands, like an effortless sort of connection that they could have with another suitor or something, I'm getting, where they just kind of like look at it like, oh, like, okay, it's you, like, yeah, you'll do for now, like until my king comes, like, you know what I mean, something like that, where they're maybe not like seeing the value of maybe a more simpler connection that they could have with somebody that's very loyal to them, who really, it's like easy, and it's like this feminine, it doesn't feel right because it's like almost like it's too easy. And she's like, no, like, you know, this isn't real love. Kind of like Buffy on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where she's like, when she starts dating Riley and she's trying to describe to Willow like what seems like it's missing, and Willow's like, oh, he's not making you miserable. And she's like, I just feel like, can you have that fire without all the like the pain and the fighting and things like that? And I mean, the question is never really answered, but you know, I think that's something that like you guys would understand, like that struggle, like that mentality, because you could like I was saying, how like you, like your hard times are like on display, like that's just a part of your persona. So I feel like a way for you to move forward is to sort of take that persona and start telling yourself a new story about what is meant for you in this life and everything that you could have. And or even maybe be like, okay, like my painful arrows when I was younger, but like moving forward is going to be like the time of my life and filled with so much love. Like the feminine sees herself as like born to be alone and like suffer through life alone because she can never have this masculine. I feel like this feminine's realistic and isn't like my masculine's coming. Maybe some of you are, but like she's more like, if, you know, I have to be on my own, like it's like a little dramatic and it's kind of funny but like almost like, okay, I will like bear that cross and keep my walls up. Again, there's like a blockade behind her on both of these. All right, so what about this masculine? How are his lessons playing out for him? The Queen of Swords. Okay, with the Two of Cups here. Interesting. Okay, wow, interesting. With the Page of Swords and the Knight of Coins. Overall is the Seven of Wands. Okay, this masculine is trying to like escape and like just like, I don't know, like it's like they're with people but they're removed. I don't know how to explain it, like, you know what I mean? I feel like they don't have any real connections. They're coming through in all these different court cards. That makes me think that they could have maybe had a similar, okay, like a lot of their lessons could be playing out with like their mother or like an ex or like somebody like that. I feel like with the Queen and the Page, the dynamic between maybe them and their mother, I did say father. I think the father is a heavy influence here as well, but I think the mother is as well. The mother could be very protective. Say, oh, like Ariel and King Triton. Remember how he like never wanted, he wanted her to like stay with him forever. Like it could be kind of like a vibe like that. And it's almost like the masculine almost knows like that they are like able to be taken care of as long as they maybe like, I don't know, follow the edict of their mother. It's like something like that. I feel like it's almost like a sense of like maybe a lesson of like you need to keep yourself on guard. I don't know. It's very interesting. I feel like this could be, I almost want to clarify this, but let's see. Ooh, let me get one more. How is this dynamic playing out here? The Chariot, again, that's like Cancer energy and Mother energy. Yeah, the Empress. Okay, so like that's like a major arcana for Cancer, and then the Empress is like the mother. So I feel like this is 100% about a mother. But what is the message about with the Knight of Coins? Oh, the King of Cups. Another. The Two of Coins. I feel like the lesson here is something about keeping emotions like out of things, maybe. With the King of Cups, keep making sure you're keeping yourself like removed, like don't trust people kind of a vibe, like you can only trust like your blood or like something like that, where it's like, and then the masculine feels like with this Knight of Coins, almost like a sense that they're doing the right thing because they are following the edict from like this person, whether it's, I think it is their mother, but whoever this is, or maybe I guess a wife, it could be a wife with the Empress, even with the Empress in that too. Almost like they feel like they're doing the right thing, even if they're almost like doing the wrong thing, because they're making this person happy. They have that sense of like emotional satisfaction, but like they're not, their perception is like very limited. Like they don't have their own sense of self. Like all the senses of self here are like in shadow form. Like I just never used this deck before in my life. I didn't even know like what it was. I briefly looked through it, but I feel like they're very like indistinct. Like they're not even like a real person with any real, again, they're in the dark. Like they're not like a three-dimensional person. Even the King of Cups, he's just like sitting there like drinking a coffee. I feel like they're very emotionally removed from their life, and that's maybe why they don't have empathy, because not that I don't think that they have any empathy at all, but I think that, like, what is this empathy thing? The Three of Cups and the Knight of Swords. Again, another freaking Swords member of that family. The Seven of Swords. I think they're disingenuous when it comes to their romantic relationships and their dealings with other people. They just feel like they always have to have this sword. Even this person's riding a bike, the sword's like out at the ready. Like they're always defensive. They're on the defense. See how the feminine has her swords in the background, like it is creating a barrier. I feel like it's the masculine's barrier against her. That's how I was looking at it. But the masculine is using his as a weapon, as like stay back, like his words even as stay back, and that's like going into this with the speak truth. It's almost like never let them see you cry, I just heard, or never let them see that you get to them, or like always be on the defense. Like maybe they were told like people are always going to use you, and like you have to be like on the lookout or something like that. So like their lessons play out for them with their interactions with their family here somehow. It's something very much so to do with their family and being taken care of, almost like you'll never have to worry as long as like you stay loyal to the family. It's like a vibe like that. All right, what else for the two of them? And then we're just gonna get advice. Look, the Mother of Cups, Judgment, and the Six of Wands. I just want to get two, did I say? Okay. The Chariot. How do these lessons play out for both of them? The Nine of Pentacles with the Devil. I feel like this is just like an intermingling of like issues of independence. It's almost like funny because the feminine actually is very independent, and the masculine like perceives themselves to be very independent, but like the feminine actually is. And even like the feminine might think she's like codependent or something like that, whereas the masculine's like, I'll never be codependent, but they're like extremely codependent on like their parent and they don't realize it or something like that. Again, both of these issues like mirroring and playing out in opposite ways. Even the Devil, we have father energy here as well. Like these are opposing energies, Capricorn and Cancer, like the mother and the father. So I feel like the parents, the family have a lot of influence. A lot of these issues played out already in a family dynamic. The mother could have had to protect her son, if it is actually a son, but this child here, the, masculine twin, whoever it's a girl or a guy, whatever, it doesn't even matter at all. But like, she might have had to like protect this masculine from like a king, like the patriarch of the family, with this Devil energy. And she might have had to taught him to like hide his emotions. It could have been something that was like very frowned upon in the household, and that's why this empathy thing never came through. Whereas she was maybe like, no, you have to like, if you're gonna survive here, like you're gonna have to like, not survive, but you know what I mean, like you have to just like something like that, where I feel like you'll be okay as long as you're just always on guard, you're always on the lookout, you're always it's like they could be united against a father together, and it's like them against the world kind of a thing, and very codependent on each other. But also like the two of them could be dependent on like the patriarch of the family, like financially. So it's almost like, listen, we're good. Could be a lesson that this masculine learned from the mother. Like if the marriage, let's see, it's almost like issues of like the Page of Swords again. If like this is what the Queen of the Son of Wands and the Mother of Pentacles in reverse. I feel like this could be something where like the mother was like disrespected by the father or something like that, and the masculine learned almost like the dynamic between them as like, you know, basically like women have to conform to like your idea of what like this household or this relationship should be. So that's why maybe they're with their romantic partners, they could have a lot of empathy in general, and they could be like a very good person, and that could have been something that really like surprised you when like if you knew them in like a different way at first, where you saw this like really sweet side and then it like turned on you or something like that. But like they could just see their romantic partners as like almost like less than them, almost like they have the power and they have to assert that power. It's like lessons that they learned at home. Wow, very interesting, very, very interesting here. Okay, let's get advice. And then even like the masculine could be like flexing, like they're because maybe that's like the mother is like financially dependent on the father, like I was saying, and the masculine learned like, oh, as long as like you are the one in control, even like with a car or something like that, it's like you with the house, with them financial independence, like you're the one like calling the shots basically, and people will like conform to like your rule. Very interesting. Both very heavily influenced by their father, and even like, and they learn their lessons like from their mother almost. Like maybe like the same thing with this feminine, where like her mother was very independent. Maybe the father left and the mother was like super tough and independent. So the feminine learned how to, again, like having to deal with challenging situations in life, and how to like, her life was maybe like a mountain that she had to climb here financially, and she saw her mother do it, and then she learned how to do it too, and everything became like a burden, and like always like prepare for the worst, and like kind of like a doom and gloom mentality. So okay, what is the advice right now moving forward? Soul family, call in your tribe. You don't have to do it alone. I think they both need to recognize that their soul family may exist outside of their like regular families, and that might be really hard for them to do. I feel like the feminine has like a sense of like duty and obligation and responsibility. The masculine more so has like a dependency that they have to break free from, and they'll both have to like do that. The feminine, right, like sees like these challenging relationships as something it's her job to fix and to continue to give to and to lead people to the light. But it's like she really, I think, has to separate and break free from it, whereas the masculine needs to maybe like see the truth of the way that like that it wasn't right maybe for his mom to have to like emotions never to be considered, and that like it's not good to perpetuate that pattern and things like that. It seems like this masculine though is like pretty stuck. The Great Gathering, it's all coming together. Intuitive hits, soul tribe, again with the soul family and the soul tribe. So I feel like this is the message for people watching. So I feel like things in your life could be, these lessons might be, if you're the feminine watching, you might be closer to like overcoming them. I'm seeing this mountain imagery here, almost like you're soul family like knows you're about to like pop on the other side, and they're like, we're waiting, we know you're gonna do it, we know you're gonna see our message and get what we're trying to communicate to you. Get grounded. Empaths, highly sensitive, connect with nature. Yeah, it's almost like the paradigm of like an empath and a narcissist with this masculine. Not that they are narcissists, I don't think they are, but they could have like narcissistic traits, like the selfishness, not like as bad, but I feel like, I think Spirit's saying make sure that you're like in touch with what's going on and with yourself and what you're feeling in a situation, and in touch with yourself so you don't get caught up in what other people need from you, or and you're able to like see the situations clearly, and you don't get caught up in a mental tailspin about things. Unbound, releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. This feminine needs, well, you if you're watching, but it's a sense of freedom. It's a sense of like cutting ties, and realizing that you may have been only meant to go a certain way with this person, and it might be time to like unbind yourself from the thought that like you're meant to save them and just save yourself, you know what I mean? We need to switch the perspective here with the 12 being here, like the Hanged Man. It's like it's a call to look at the situation differently, and your perspective is something that is like a lesson that you have to learn and change as you go. So I think we're going to leave it there, guys. Thank you so much for watching this reading. I really enjoyed doing it. I hope you enjoyed watching it, and I hope you have a great day or night wherever you are, and that you subscribe, like, or comment on my channel if you like the vibes here. Okay, thank you guys so much. Bye.